While Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida is embroiled in a fight over mask mandates, his awful leadership in the state has led to members of the police force getting so sick that they're out, they can't do their jobs, and some within the ranks of various police departments have died. And since the police departments are thinning out as a result of coronavirus, maybe Ron DeSantis should really reconsider the intentional disinformation he puts out there in regard to the pandemic. Now, police departments throughout the state are being stretched thin in Florida, which has been one of the hardest hit as Ron DeSantis battles local leaders over mask mandates. In fact, a judge just ruled that that DeSantis does not have the legal authority to ban mask mandates within the state, but he decided to defund 2 school districts that have implemented mask mandates anyway. Now, here are some more devastating details. After a 32-year-old officer by the name of Christopher Broadhead died last week, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd encouraged cops in the department to get vaccinated. In fact, he said the following: the majority of these hospitalized with COVID are unvaccinated. Listen to the doctors, don't listen to the politicians, get your vaccine if you didn't have motivation before to get the vaccination. Now, here are some other devastating details about what's taking place in the state of Florida. 50 Polk County Sheriff's officers, office staffers, I should say, have reportedly tested positive for COVID, with 5 in hospitals and 1 on a ventilator. Nearly 100 Sarasota County Sheriff's employees were out with COVID, deputies told the outlet last week. And 19 St. Petersburg police staff members were also sick and out of work as of Saturday of last week. So look, COVID impacts everyone. Doesn't matter what your job is, doesn't matter what you do. If you refuse to get vaccinated and you don't take the proper precautions, it's likely that you'll get sick. And unfortunately, we're seeing people of, all different professions getting hospitalized in some of these red states that have now served as massive hotspots for coronavirus and new coronavirus cases.
What happened? I thought they thought that blue lives mattered. It looks like if you're anti-vax and anti-masking, you don't think blue lives matter much at all. They had 29 cops dead. Can you imagine if a terrorist killed 29 cops in Florida? We'd be invading a country now, probably the wrong country, but we'd be invading someone, right? 29 cops died from coronavirus and people were like, don't get vaccinated, don't put on masks. Now, by the way, of course, 29 people died in every profession and a lot more than that, nurses, doctors, etc. But we have to talk to right-wingers this way because they don't have the same empathy as we do for all human beings. So if you tell them, hey, an Afghan kid died, whatever, right? You tell them 47,000 Afghan civilians died, whatever, okay? Hey, a left-winger died, okay, whatever. So professors died, don't care, don't care, don't care. A cop died, oh, interesting.
I mean,
right?
I don't know if that would be enough to persuade them, but for those who are skeptics regarding the vaccine or masks, for those who don't trust in our institutions, which to be fair, I can understand why that would happen. Our institutions have failed people, and so I can understand the skepticism. However, why would the government want people to die? Like, what, you get what I'm saying? Because in order for society to function, you need people to live. That's why the government went against the wishes of corporations and did the shutdown early on in the pandemic. You think they did that even though it was gonna harm their own stock portfolios? And then 2 weeks later, they're like, all right, let's get people back to work. Let's get people. I mean, they're desperate to keep people alive and to get them back to work. Not just the politicians with the stock portfolios, but also the executives at these corporations who want people back at work. So why, just think about it logically. Why would people, or why would the government, why would officials encourage people to get vaccinated if the vaccine somehow harms people or kills people? It makes no sense.
We keep debating with people who just don't care about facts. So all the world's doctors are lying, if you say so. And the last thing on the police, they say, oh my God, can you believe libs want to defund the police? We're trying to save their lives. And meanwhile, conservatives are like, who cares? Do you really care about police? Doesn't look like it.
No, they don't. I mean, they love to use police as props for their political points when it's convenient. But I think after we saw the way Capitol Police were treated on January 6th and the way that right-wingers responded to that, just like the troops who fight these endless wars, they're just used as props for political points. That's it, that's all it is. And it's just incredibly callous and shameful to see it over and over again.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.